Good evening, all. Welcome to Good Chats. Thanks for joining us again on a Wednesday night. Hang on. Tap, tap, tap. Is this thing on? I might have remembered to turn my mic on tonight, which is a great start. So things are looking good already. G'day, Andy Munro. Fogarty Avenue's great. I came across them on some of their Station Explore videos and really enjoyed them. It appears they've got a really cool squad going there, which is awesome. Welcome, Kingsley. G'day to WA. Thank you for coming on board again. And g'day, Steve Klink. Thanks again, mate, for showing up. Appreciate you being here. We've got Come Hither with Heather. Hello. Welcome aboard. Seeing some of your recent Explore videos as well. If you love Urbex, Andy, and country Urbex in particular, go and check out Come Hither with Heather's channel. Her and her squad, Werner and Drew being amongst them, do a lot of country Urbexing, as it was, or maybe we should call it something else, like, I don't know, country Xing, or dare I say the other version of it. I won't say the other version of it here, but you might all know what I'm going towards with country Xing. G'day, Shano Ace. Welcome aboard. We're back again for a Wednesday night. And Pete Donaldson, welcome aboard too. Thank you for coming on board, mate. So if you really want to see some Country X, go and check out Come Hither with Heather's channel, Drew's Adventures, and Werner's Adventures. I think Come Hither with Heather was also, along with people like Kane's Trains, were some of the people and the channels that really spurred me on to do better and to be better and to do more. So thank you. Welcome aboard O'Malley Tours Around the Grounds. Again, churning out the content as well. Great video the other day. I don't remember the name, sorry, dude. But keep churning it out, man. Keep exploring and experimenting with the music. I always love the music that you have in your videos. So this is Good Chats, just in case you're one of the 10 or so random viewers that have dropped in here. Maybe you're a new subscriber. Maybe YouTube just threw this up randomly for you. Sorry about that. Welcome aboard. Every Wednesday night we do a bit of a chat here about the themes that my channel is about, but more importantly, it's about the people in the chat room as well, the likes of the people that I've just been talking about as well. So most people here as well might even have their own channel, like Andy Munro, look him up, and of course all the others that I've mentioned as well. We do this every Wednesday night at 8:15 p.m. We're up to week 80, believe it or not. So part of this project is to prove that you can keep doing it week after week after week and keep stuffing it up week after week after week, but you just got to be brave enough to come back and share in a bit of joy and a bit of information sharing for a Wednesday night. I always learn more from the audience than I do. I think I'm not trying to teach anybody anything, but I learn a lot more from you guys by asking questions and listening to the answers as well. Hello, Graham O'Neill. Welcome back again. Thank you, mate. Great to see you. If you are lurking in the chat room, then please feel free to pipe up. We're a friendly bunch. And if you've hung around for this long, you may be interested in what we're actually going to talk about. Now, one of the things I do every week is a book of the week, and I got a cracker this week. I talk about the videos that I've just done. In this case, it was the Historic South Australian Railway Stations video that I just did. And of course, I did ask in the description, tell me which ones I missed, and some people were very quick to tell me which ones I missed. I think those of you who know and have watched my channel for long enough will know that I've been to pretty much every railway station in South Australia so far, and every railway location in South Australia so far, except for the old Ghan line, which takes a bit of planning and a bit of effort to get to, and a giant four-wheel drive as well, which I don't have. So we'll be working on that as a 2025 project. And by then, there will literally be no railway locations that I have not visited, and some of them twice, 3 times, maybe even more. And that's why I decided to add part 1 to the title, because this journey ain't over yet. Got a couple of questions, as I always do, for the audience, and I'll put one of them out there right now to get us started. Well, now that Ree's on board, welcome, Ree. It's time to ask and put out the question. And the question is, first one is, should I change the day and the time of this regular live chat? Now, we've been Wednesday night at 8:15 for well over a year now, so it'd be a big thing to change it. But I'd love to hear if anybody's got some opinions on that. I'm not really sure I want to change it because we've been here so long, but I'm wondering whether or not I might even do an extra stream at a different time of the week and a different time of the day, just to experiment what the response might be there. So let me know if you've got any ideas, what you've seen before, and perhaps what time might be good for you. A change is certainly as good as a holiday, and a holiday is as good as a change, I guess, too. Yes, Heather, I've got some plans. I've got some bookings now for another trip, another family road trip to Coffs Harbour in September, and we'll be spending 2 weeks in New South Wales. And I'm going to spend some time in the library there up at Coffs Harbour, and I'm also going to spend some time looking at some of the lines between Sawtell, which is south of Coffs Harbour, up through Karambah and up to Glenray, where I started my Glenray to Dorrigo video. The thing about the railway lines between Sawtell through Coffs Harbour and up around the back of Coffs and through the hills to Glenray is these are lines that I actually spent a lot of time hanging around as a kid, when you used to hang around and, put 20-cent pieces on the railway line. Probably not 20-cent pieces back then. We're probably putting 1 and 2 cent pieces on the line back then and see if they would get crushed by a train. Or we would hang around the railway crossings just to wait for the trains go by, or put our ear to the rail to see if we could hear the trains coming, or even go for a wander into some of the Red Hill tunnels up the back of Coffs Harbour. Pennies. I'm not quite that old yet. I am old, but I'm not quite that old yet. That's a fair comment, Shano. Appreciate it. Yep. And it does depend when I change it to. Wednesday nights was, I guess, the night that I could probably guarantee most of the year that I would actually be available to do it. Like Saturday nights and Sunday nights and Friday nights can sometimes see other social things happening that might preclude that. So, kind of just settled on Wednesday. And why did I settle on 8:15? Well, I just thought it'd just be a time that might kind of stand out. Again, it's a time I can guarantee that I have the time to do the stream every week. But I also chose 8:15 because it's just different, shows usually start at 8 or 8:30 or something. So, me being me, I decided to try something different. Having learnt what to do over the years, I've always tried to test something different to see if I could do something different to accepted norms, I guess. That's a fair call. It is junk time, isn't it? Because it's the middle of the week, and it's time to just settle in at 8:15 p.m. and you might be getting ready for bed or something like that after that. So it's a nice mellow time. Yes, and I agree with you, Shane Oace. So, and this is why I wanted to have that conversation, because I might be getting old too, and Fridays and Saturdays are less likely to see social activities than they used to be, but they still happen from time to time, believe it or not. So I've had a bit of trouble with the videos in OBS this week. I was down at the Railway Museum again on Saturday, and I realised I'd forgotten that it was the behind closed doors events. So I got some great footage of some of the inside of some of the carriages, and of course the inside of my favourite locomotive, which is the Duke Essington Lewis, I think, down there at the National Railway Museum. They had the cab of that open. I also found some really cool displays that I hadn't seen before of steel polished steel lettering that would have been on engines back in the day, and I'm really interested in that kind of thing. So I'm hoping that this video will upload to YouTube before I finish the stream, and I can show you a bit of my day that I had down at the National Railway Museum on Saturday. And funnily enough, I'll be back there again this Saturday, delving into the digital archives and seeing what I can find for upcoming videos like Sleeps Hill, the Dry Creek Tramways, which is still on the cards, but I think the biggest thing that I have to do there is get out to the old dock up the top of Swan Creek, I think it is, or Broad Creek, one of the two. Thanks for the feedback, Heather, as well. Yep, it is really good time for that, and thanks, Ree. Appreciate you saying so as well. Or I just do 2 live streams. One of them will have to be very random, and well, they generally are, aren't they? I do sometimes do a weekend stream, which is generally very random and very unplanned, and usually very amateurish as well. But hey, that's the point. So I was going to talk about, oh, look, I just got a message there on my dashboard that said ads inserted. So sorry if that's stuffing things up for you guys. I really appreciate you guys helping me with this monetization experiment, just to see what the real world effects of all that are. So hopefully it's not interfering with the experience too much. If it is, tell me to turn it off and I will turn it off. I'm not particularly wed to the idea of making $2 or $3 on a video. Yeah. So I'm playing 2 sides of the coin here, and I'm playing the theory, and it's not a theory, I guess. It's what you do. Is regularity is one of the biggest indicators of developing an audience and developing trust. And so I chose 8:15 p.m. every Wednesday so I could adhere to that. And look where we are now, 80 weeks later. And the other side of the coin is just pop up and do random videos from time to time. So that's 2 sides of the coin there, because you can reach different audiences and achieve different things with live streams as well. And I didn't, back in the early days, right, of me doing these live streams, back in week 3 or 4 or 10 or whatever, I had no idea what I was doing, right? And sometimes talking to 1 or 2 people, and just working through things, but and sometimes people would just even unsubscribe when I put a live stream up, because they'd just be horrified at what it was compared to the videos that I was putting out. But and it's never contributed much to my watch hours as well. If you're into sort of creating YouTube channels, you'll know that watch hours is one of the things that you want to develop. And yeah, it wasn't really contributing much to my watch hours or my subscriptions, or the outdoors type project at all. But here we are 80 weeks later, and look at us. We've got this little community going on here, and people are coming back every week to teach me things and to teach all of us. And so we're showing each other new channels and new things all the time. And I'm really, really cool with where we've gotten to now. So thank you, everybody. The next thing on my list was play the National Railway Museum vids, but yeah, I've had a few issues with that, as I said. And I've got a few photos to show you as well. Hey, welcome, Luke's Fishing. How'd you go fishing today? Did you catch any more of those herrings? God, how frustrating that would be. Check out Luke's Fishing channel as well. He fishes around the Northern Territory in some beautiful environments. I don't know if you're into fishing. I am. I did it a long time ago, so it's a real joy to watch people still out there doing it. Too busy working. That was so random, meeting Bob Sampson, the head of the Railway Museum out there in Brinkworth, of all places. And stupidly enough, in the video that I just did, and we'll go back to talking about the stations video, that was one of the stations that I missed in that video, was Brinkworth. I kicked myself after I got 88 railway locations and stations, right? And I missed the one that I'd been to the weekend just before. That was just crazy, right? So that stations vid was something that came to mind when I was bored, basically. And now with such a big back catalogue of video, source video, which takes up to 2 gigabyte hard drives. So there's over 4 gigabytes worth of stuff now, and most of it I'll never even see again. But I was able to mine all of that footage to create something different, and that was also one of my aspirations a couple of years ago when all of this started, was to create a library of content that I could then go back to and glean new and interesting videos and new and interesting visuals out of it, and remix it and look at things a little bit differently and use it to jog memory to go down different tracks. Yeah, I asked about changing the time, and it looks like we're pretty cool with where the time's at the moment. And that's cool. Well, let's stick with that. 8:15 p.m. every Wednesday. That's good because I don't have to remember another tagline, which would just probably confuse me. The other question was, I was looking at social media user statistics, and in amongst all of this, I guess you could say maybe some kind of kerfuffle over TikTok, and people have fairly strong opinions about TikTok, I guess. I am on I am on TikTok, but yeah, I don't use it much. So, what's your favorite social media? I think everybody would correctly guess that Facebook is the number one, but does anyone know, without looking it up, what the number two social media platform in the world is by users? G'day, History Hunter Down Under. You'd probably know what the second most popular social media platform is in the world by users. Take a guess. And most of the time when I'm doing a live stream, I'm not doing it urban either. I'm like out at Palma on top of a hill with no mobile phone towers for a good, 20, 30 Ks, or out at a railway station or something like that. It's always the way. But it was interesting out at Brinkworth. I had pretty marginal coverage, so I wasn't expecting the stream to go so well and for so long as it did. And so, again, you just got to get out there and do what you do, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It won't be perfect for a very long time. And just do it. You'll get used to those streams kind of glitching out though at the end. I mean, I reached 19 minutes with that stream, and that was purely because it's now not super bloody hot, and my phone lasted 19 minutes before it overheated and shut the stream down. But we'll keep that in mind, and we'll go from there. Dan's been doing well, great lately too. Dan's another Urbex and history hunting channel, so go check out History Hunter Dan Under. Did I get a mention on? Thanks for that, Dan. The mention on the New South Wales Heritage Railway on Facebook. I'm going to have to go check that out, mate, because I've recently. Those of you who watch your statistics too on Facebook, you sometimes see big jumps in views, and it's simply described as external. And so you don't really get a heads up on where it is if people don't tag you in it or tag your channel in it, right? So social media can be really complicated. So please feel free to use my stuff on social media and share my stuff. That's why I make it. It's 2024, right? And that's why I keep Outdoors Type the same name across all the platforms, so that I can be tagged in Instagram and Facebook, and then I'll know what's going on. Yeah, cool. Thanks, History Hunter Down Under, for that intel. Yes, Facebook videos are only good if people share it on their pages. Yeah. It's social media is all about the sharing to me, and my strategy, as I do for work, and I don't do as much of it as I'd like to, but sharing is the number one aim of everything that I do, basically. And I would prefer that people share stuff, particularly at this stage, when I'm just a small YouTuber. The purpose of putting it on a social media platform like YouTube is for it to be shared. So, if I had a private video that I had a copy of, and somebody then bought a copy of that DVD and then burnt it and displayed it on social media, then I would have an issue with that, because we put it on DVD for it to be copyrighted. But if people put things on social media, there are still copyright issues, quite seriously. But I think how the world works these days, if somebody has put it up on social media, then they're actually asking it for it to be shared, because that is the reason why it's on social media. And YouTube is a social media. In fact, it's probably my favorite social media, and it is the second most popular social media in the world before Instagram. I think it was something like 400 million accounts or something like that for Facebook, and 250 million accounts for YouTube, and nearly 200 million accounts for Instagram, and then Snapchat and TikTok and the others way down below. So TikTok punches above its weight in terms of how much people talk about it, and I think there is a reason for that, because of TikTok's awesome marketing department. With endless amounts of money to spend. It's well known in the industry, and so that is why TikTok is spoken about far more than it has earned. So anyway, we've done all those questions, and we're going to go to Book of the Week. And I think those of you who also have been following me as well lately will probably not be surprised that it is John Wilson's new book, The Break of Gauge, Social History. So it's by John Wilson. He's done a number of books. I spoke about the Last Train to Udna Whoop Whoop in a previous Book of the Week, and this was his latest book, released last week. It's a cool old school book. It's going to look great on your bookshelf. And this is good because it goes outside of South Australia, and it addresses, as it says, right, the social history of the break of gauge, different railway gauge situations that we have going on in Australia, and that we fought. So, well, no, we didn't really fight so hard to overcome. It just kind of happened that way. And what's really interesting about this is, okay, so it's got photos of track and stations. And it's got photos of trains and stuff. See, obviously he's going to Kuranda there as well with that photo. So we're moving outside of South Australia, and this would have been a huge project, right? But in the book, John focuses more on the stuff I really like, which is the social and cultural histories and the personalities and the reasons why this occurred, and what it affected, and what was born out of it, and how we fixed it. It's not about trains as such. It's not about engine numbers. It's not about station architecture or anything like that. It's about the people and the things and the politics that happened all around this, and why things happened the way they happened, as frustrating as they are, and what could have been, or what might have been, if we had done a better job of not building different gauge railways. So I am only so far into the first few pages, but it's got some excellent chapters there. So you get into it, and you can see there the cantankerous business of railway curves and their cant, the origin of the Irish broad gauge, Fitzgibbon Fox and the Queensland narrow gauge, the curse of the North-South Transcontinental Railway. And so I'm really looking forward to getting some more time to get right into this book. So even just from a cursory look, it looks like this is going to be excellent reading. I think it's something that all of us slightly serious railway history nerds, and particularly the social history nerds, and even just people who are just not even railway nerds, who don't care about railways and are just interested in the way how this affected Australian society, should have a look at this book, definitely. So yeah, I'm with you, Kingsley, definitely. So I have been uploading this other video to YouTube, but it looks like it's going to take its sweet time. So I'll try loading it in again, because I'm just about done with the content for tonight. Where have I put it in? Let's put it in. Maybe I'll do a display capture, and we'll see if that will work, right? So just bear with me. Old man stares at screen. I've got the files here ready to go. I'll just load them up in Media Player and see how we go. I'm just going to do a quick play here. I've noticed I've frozen on my monitor. So not sure what's going on there. Okay, we're back again. Sorry from freezing. I don't know what's going on. I've got no indication down on my dashboard here that there's any stream problems, but that just seems to be the way of the live stream. So we've got that in there now. I'm just going to play it and see if it glitches out on me in this part. No, it's not going to glitch out on me in that player. Cool. All right. So just to got another 6-minute video that I'm going to play, and then we'll have a bit of a chat after that, providing that everything goes well and I haven't turned my mic off. So let's go to capture the display. No screen cap. So there we go. That is being displayed now. Transition out of that. Oh god, I'll get these buttons right one day.
Lever that actually does the points. And the blue lever gets locked again. And then that's the full system.
Nice.
So, blue lever locks both the signal lever, the point lever up here and down on the track. And then I'll put the blue lever back. Then it releases the black lever. And then blue lever gets pulled back again. And now the black lever is locked down.
I haven't done any ducking on this, but have a look at the bottom of screen there, and that's the metal plates that I was talking about, the name plates. I love the fonts, I love the typefaces. Picked it like a broken nose, O'Malley. Yes, and please don't use the toilet at platforms, whatever you do. Not cool. And they have bylaws framed at forbidding annoying behaviour. I hear you, Heather. Right, now let's get to the good bit. That's not the good bit. This is the good bit. The size of everything.
Yeah.
This is cool.
You know what everything does?
I'm still catching up with all of this now, I tell you.
Want me to show you?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yep. Want to create it? Open the throttle as much as you can. It doesn't really go very fast. It's seized up.
Yeah, that's it. As a new station, I love the old timber work in those carriages. And if you go back to the Glenraider Dorigo, I got to explore some really awesome carriages there, and also in the Broken Hill video. So as well, going back to my collection of footage, I now have a very big collection of walking through old wooden carriages. So perhaps that might be the next compilation is old school wooden carriages by Outdoors Time. Yeah, man, there's so much going on in there. And there was a guy called Balin in there who, and when they put these guys into these exhibits, they know everything about them. And this guy had a sort of deck set up where he was playing the sounds. So it would have been really great for kids to get in there and have a play around, because he knew he had a library of sounds to play for each valve or each lever, which corresponded to the sound that the engine would have made had those been pushed or pulled or whatever in real life. So that was really, really cool. And to be in there and talk more with somebody really knowledgeable about the roles of the engineman and the driver, and the fireman, and how they interacted. I'm really interested to learn more about that interaction and the synergies between what the two team members did as a team to drive trains. G'day, Plane Train Guy. Welcome aboard. It's okay. Yeah, there's always the replay. This week's been slightly more interesting, I think, than other weeks, because I've managed to keep the sound going the entire time as well. And welcome to JK as well. We're not far off wrapping it up though, guys. I did have a slideshow to bring up as well, so we're just going to cruise over to that one. So hands up who remembers Max Hobby. Now, I don't know what happened to Max. He was a regular viewer of the stream for probably the first 6 months or so, I reckon. So he put up with a lot of crap, but he also provided some excellent videos. He was living in the UK, and then probably about 6 months now. He just disappeared, and he's not been back since. So I hope he's okay, but. He provided some great videos as well, great photos for me to show as well. And this is a couple of them that we went through at the time, and I thought it was pertinent to, hey, give a shout out to Max if he's still lurking out there somewhere. We hope he is. And some of the stations videos that I've been doing. So, and these are also the photos that he was sending through from his collection were photos of places that have, I think, never been seen before. I don't think his photos are in any online collections. I'm not sure if they're in the National Railway Museum collection, so they're really valuable photos. So this is obviously of what was it? That's a Barwell bull or whatever it is at Halbury, which is in the mid north there, not far from Port Wakefield and the like. And it's not a place that you would have any inkling of there being a train there. Right, now, let's change the slide. Come on. It's meant to be a slideshow going on here, but it's not really going on, is it? Let's go to the next slide. There we go. And you can tell by the lights there on the left-hand side of the photos that he has, Brill, yeah, you're right, yeah, later model, that he's scanned these in from original images. Coatville out in the Murray Mallee, and obviously the shed while it was still there, and typical of the sheds out there in the Murray Mallee. I saw one at Caliph, as you would have seen by the old video, and these were the sheds where the farmers would leave their eggs and milk and cream for the train to pick up once every couple of days. That was obviously back in the days when eggs, milk and cream had to be consumed warm, which wouldn't have been fun at all. I just can't even begin to imagine. The old station out at Waikerie, which someone said is still there. Waikerie. No, the station is not still there. But this would have been up by the river, atop the cliff there where the silos are. I think this was possibly, by the look of things, I'm guessing that it's the river behind the station there, and a massive cliff which drops down to the River Murray. That's right, there was a silo art at Coatville. And if you go back to my video on the Murray Mallee lines and you go to the Coatville section, I actually was out there when the guy was doing the silo art, and I had a bit of a chat to him, and he asked that I'd try not to show too much of the silo art, which is why I did the angles that I did on that shot. You can see him painting it, and he wanted me to keep it not public, I guess, until he'd finished the silo art, because he was doing it as a bit of a present for the people who lived in Coatville, and he didn't want them to be seeing it before he'd finished it, which was really cool. You meet the most amazing people out there when you're just out there doing your thing. Appamara, this is one that's a bit closer to home and still has rails running through it. And that was a fairly simple station on the old Sedan line. And if you look at all of these stations as well as I have, I noticed that there's a particular typeface or text style for South Australian Railways, and that is one of my lifelong projects. I think it will be to nail down what that is so I can recreate it digitally. Then we have Mount Pleasant. I think this is a photo that might be available elsewhere. And this Mount Pleasant station was in where the showgrounds are now. And there's absolutely zero indication that there was ever a station there at Mount Pleasant. I think it's quite amazing how these structures and these things, which were such a focus of activity and such heavy engineering, can be erased without any trace of them at all, which is why I'm so interested in where traces remain of some of these old stations. And the last one in the mix, can't quite see the name there, but this is the platform at Sedan. Sedan is in the Murray Mallee, northwest, about nearly 2 hours northeast east of Adelaide, I should say. And again, I did a video on the Monarto to Sedan line, and only when flying over the area by drone can you perhaps see some marks in the landscape which indicates where the railways once were, and perhaps some dirt outlines where some of the buildings once were. But again, it's another place that just doesn't exist. You would have no indication aside from a small historical marker. Try a website called What de Font. Yeah, I could give that a go. I've got browser extensions that I can look at as well, so that's a good suggestion. I might try that when I get a good enough look in an image of these fonts. That's a really good suggestion. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate it. Okay, so what are we going to do now? We're going to go back here. I've got all my little control-y things here. Jack Wayman desperately wants me to use a Stream Deck, but I'm still just bloody minded, and I figure I can just make my keyboard do this. If I don't go changing things every bloody week, then maybe week on week things can get a little bit better and a little bit smoother. So we've been going for over 45 minutes now, although I did cheat by playing a video at the beginning. So we're headed into the 5-minute warning. If anyone's got any questions they want to ask, chuck them in now. Or if anyone's got any questions you want me to ask of the audience, of our mates here, then chuck it in the comments, even after the stream's ended or until I switch it off. Chuck them in, and I'll write them down, and we'll have a think about what we can talk about next week. So this weekend I'm headed to the National Railway Museum again. I might head up to the Pitchy Ritchie Pass and have a look at a small train there called the what's it called? The Coffee Pot. That's it. But I don't have my drone back yet. The insurance palaver is still carrying on. I'm sure it'll be fine, but I still don't have a drone at this point in time. But I might go up and just get some ground footage as part of the collection. Waikerie Station, the location is still accessible. Heather, it is basically where the car park is for the Waikerie Silo Art across the road from the Nippies factory, and you can still see some rails in the road around there, but that's another one of those locations where unless you really knew what was there, you would have no idea that there was ever a railway station there. And that's what I love doing, is surprising people that all of this stuff was there and they've just swiped it all away. Put it under a car park, and I guess in the case of Waikerie, they didn't have to demolish a platform, but they would have gone to some trouble to demolish the likes of the stations that were on the Mount Pleasant line, for example. And I find that very interesting that they would just cover all that up. Sedan has some cool. The hotel out of Sedan is really interesting. Sedan is a really old settlement, really beautiful old settlement. Just watch out where you. Just watch out some of the ones with the taller fences. You might not want to hang around too much. There is a little railway museum on Regency Road. There is a model railway down there, yeah. And it's open on the last Sunday of every month for y'all to pay a small entry fee and ride on tiny trains. Now, if anyone else wants to come riding along tiny trains with me, that'd be great. Because just single bloke rocking up to ride tiny trains by himself seems pretty damn weird. Obviously, my kids have grown up, so I can't get them to come with me and ride tiny trains anymore. That'd be the last thing they'd want to do. My ticket to riding tiny trains has kind of grown up. So, but it's open to the public. Go check it out. Go support them. You'll be amazed at what's behind the fence and up the back and down the side and all that other stuff there. It's really, really interesting. And these guys are really passionate about their work. I don't remember the name off the top of my head at the moment, but if you just go to Google Maps and zoom in on it, and it'll come up with the name there. That's what I usually do. It's been a really good chat tonight. I think that everybody's learned something, mostly from everybody else. And I have learned something as well. I always love it when I get some inside info on where some of my stuff has been shared, because it's not easily apparent to me where that's been shared. I probably should have gone back and checked the historical railways of New South Wales, or whatever the name of it is. You said it before, Dan, but thank you for pointing that out. I will go and check that out and bask in the glory that is one of my shared posts. So thanks for coming on board early, Andy Munro. Thanks for mentioning Fogarty Avenue as well. If you guys like squad explorers, then go check out those guys. Kingsley Purvis and WA, thanks again for coming on board. Share it with your mates over there in WA. We come on at about 6:45 over there or something like that, I'm imagining. Come hither with Heather. Steve Klink, thank you for coming on board. Shane O'Ace, we'll be back next week, man. We love it. O'Malley Tours 34 ATG. I meant to ask what the 34 is all about. I know what the ATG is all about, the around the grounds, but I still haven't figured out what the 34 is about. Pete Donaldson, thank you for coming on board and always sharing your information as well, and chiming in at just the right moment for the right information. Graham O'Neill, thanks for coming back on board again, mate. Bro, thank you. Great to see you. Well, not that I'm seeing you, but hey, look, if you guys ever want to jump on the stream as well, just let me know. I can send you a link and we can appear in like split screen and stuff. And we can all put faces to some of these names if you haven't already got your face as your profile pic. Who else did we have on board tonight? We had Luke's Fishing came on board. Welcome aboard. Go check out Luke's channel as well, History Hunter Down Under. He has an awesome channel. Go check that out as well. And thanks for the intel again, mate. And we have Plain Train Guy and my erstwhile producer, Jeremy Kemp, otherwise known as JK, out there in downtown Hillstown in Rockin, New South Wales. Always a pleasure to have you guys on board and your information as well. Oh, hey, there you go. Was his footy number when he played for Murrayville FC. Murrayville, what a town, what a metropolis. I'm looking forward to being notified that all these footy books that I've ordered from, just about every library in far-flung country SA, I don't know how they're going to get them to my local library, but what an awesome service these libraries have. You can just go select them and they will get them to your local library. So I'm really looking forward to it. The miniature railway at Penfield is still running, and that is an awesome big railway that also has other stuff like model cars and stuff, and a lot of history on display around there. There's some history of railway lines that I missed out there at the Penfield Model Railway Club, but it's worth going and checking out. Sorry if I've missed anyone in thanking you for coming on board. There's been a whole bunch of lurkers tonight as well, so thanks for sticking around, or thanks for not sticking around, as the case may be. Hope we haven't scared you off too much, but we really shouldn't do that. This is a down-to-earth, authentic kind of chat. We do this on Wednesday at 8:15 p.m, every Wednesday at 8:15 p.m, and we had a little vote, and it's going to continue to be every Wednesday at 8:15 p.m, and you can watch me slowly get older and unravel every week here on my channel. So thank you again for coming on board. We'll see you again at 8:15 p.m. next Wednesday, and until then, peace.